So the director said, make sure to show it's an Apple show so the viewer knows the producers were a bunch of assholes. Okay, let's get this out of the way nice and early. 5 preemptive sins for calling soccer football, which I'm positive this show will do at some point. Come on, England, get your own language.
Do you want it?
But it's a Hockney. It must be worth £1 million.
Good point. You should have said yes. Auction pile, please.
Being a hock tease.
Mrs. Mannion. Excuse me, Miss Welton.
If there is one last name you must not, under any circumstances, get wrong, it's the last name of your recently cheated on and divorced boss. Unless, of course, Higgins himself is looking to get divorced from his job and or bullocks.
I love what you've done to the place. Did you do it yourself or get some to help you?
I could ask the same of your hair. Please.
Oh, close, but the answer we were actually looking for was, get out of my office, you homophobic piece of
One Theodore Ted Lasso.
If the guy's name is Theodore and he goes by Ted, just call him Ted. Since when do respected news agencies, or even ESPN for that matter, use full names for everyone? Come on, Scotsworth Vanderberg Peltsmith, you're better than this.
At first, I was thinking about not sleeping. Then I was thinking about not sleeping. That's never good.
What a coincidence, because I was just thinking about how much Jason Sudeikis sounds like he's doing a Foghorn Leghorn impression here. Then I was thinking about how much...
I think this is us right here.
What? Are you sure? The guy with the roll commercial sign that says your name on it is the guy you're looking for? My surprise hath overwhelmed me. Why is Ollie still awkwardly holding this whiteboard with Ted's name on it? Is he worried that Ted is going to forget he's his ride? I know most of the world thinks Americans are dumb, but geez, give us some credit. We invented the chauffeur. I had no idea that in England, the sidewalk is meant for people and cars? What is this madness?
These Victorian-era headmasters, all they wanted to do was get the boys to stop masturbating, so they invented a sport where the boys wouldn't use their hands at all, and they thought that might do the trick.
This makes no sense as an anti-masturbatory tactic. Surely you want a sport that will keep their hands occupied. At the very least, a sport with a high risk of hand or groin injury, thereby making masturbation more painful than it's worth.
Not sure if it worked, but...
I can tell you with absolute certainty and conviction, it did not. Is the coach looks out longingly at the empty playing service cliche international law now? Seriously, we get it. They all want to make weird stadium babies with their sport. Just move on.
Could you take Coach Beard and get him their IDs, housing information, anything they need?
Wi-Fi password, wet wipes.
Wi-Fi password and wet wipes? Damn it, Ted. This is exactly why those Victorian wankers invented soccer in the first place.
How do you take your tea?
Pollinated, preferably. So this setup is perfect, with the drooping flowers dropping their seasonal bullshit directly into the teaware.
He looks like a good time.
That's my ex-husband.
Well, good times aren't always a good time, I've found.
No, Ted, good times are a good time, and good times that are not a good time are called bad times. We good?
I'm so sorry. I thought you knew. They're ready for you now.
They're what?
Pretending like this is a soundproof door. Ted would have been hearing that natter chatter all the way down the hallway.
Hey! If I don't hear silence, I'm gonna start punching.
If silence is your goal, I wouldn't recommend starting your beating in the pelvic area. Speaking of which, beating in the pelvic area is exactly why they invented...
Look at this yank.
English pubs are the OG YouTube comment section, and honestly for that they both deserve a sin.
Nobody can understand you.
Well, if that isn't the limey calling the kettle frog, I don't know what is.
We won the league last year.
So the media devolves to screaming out various questions, which builds tension just as the writers intended. But why would the journalists want to play the what does he know game at all? Ted started off by saying,
You could fill 2 internets with what I don't know about football.
so none of this should be a surprise.
Somewhere over the last few years, we seem to have abandoned all sense of manners and hospitality.
Could have been while you were doing all that colonizing. Totally understandable. It was a busy time for you.
Now, Coach Lasso may not have the CV that you all find acceptable.
CVs. Yes, I know it's an English thing, but more and more I'm hearing Americans use CV instead of resume like it's some sort of fancy word upgrade. I bet you don't even know what it stands for, do you? It could stand for crusty vagina for all you know. Yes, I know it's Latin. Fine. Crustus vaginus. My point is you aren't too good for the word resume, Sean.
We look forward to seeing you all at our next match with Crystal Palace.
Cheese and pinches Crystal Palace. Who do they represent? Narnia?
I hope he fails miserably.
Major Premier League.
See, my ex-husband truly loved only one thing his entire life. This club. And Ted Lasso is going to help me burn it to the ground.
This seems like a lot of effort to exact revenge on a cheating spouse. Wouldn't it be quicker and easier to literally just burn the club down? If Richmond is in the Premier League, the worst that can happen is they get demoted to a lower league, and that will take the entire season. It could take years before the team is truly forced to close down. Even if everything goes to plan and the club is ruined forever, that's hardly the crowning achievement you would want to add to your resume, is it? That's right. I said resume. If you don't like it, you can shove it up your CV.
I want him to feel like he's been in the arse with a splintered cricket bat.
I'd recommend calling Sarah Michelle Gellar. She has easy access to wooden stakes, and sure, he's changed his last name, but Buffy would certainly want to know if Rupert had strayed this far from the path of good.
Though some people pronounce it Jiff.
And God bless them for jetting it right.
Coach, you try this? Oh, that does not come lightly from that fella, I'll tell you that. But you continue to impress, Nathan.
You remember my name?
I love these three. It's already evident they're absolutely perfect together. This is the funniest threesome put on film since Zoolander, and I'm taking a sin off. Also, that's right, a sin removal. Also, the kindness and warmth of Ted Lasso is so pure it makes even me want to be a better person. I swear the opposite of an asshole should be a lasso. Like, look at that lasso over there getting over in traffic so someone can pass. Or did that entire line just let that older man to the front so he could get his food first? What a bunch of lassos.
Holy smokes, did you see that?
In what way is this half backflip kick better than catching the ball, controlling it, and then shooting? Yeah, it looks cool, but isn't the point to get the ball thingy inside the net thingy? Rumor has it if you say Gregarious Firmus Victoria 3 times while rubbing a stamp and drinking a cup of tea, the Queen of England herself will appear and butter your crumpets. I haven't tried it myself because I'm not sure how much of that is a metaphor, and frankly, I don't know enough about crumpets to confidently say if I want mine buttered or not.
I do love a locker room. It smells like potential.
If Ted Lasso's version of potential smells like the sweat of 20 soccer players, I'd hate to know what his olfactory sense makes of disappointment. Ah yes, stretch the computer cords from the wall all the way to the center of the room like a bunch of assholes. Although popular throughout the second half of the 20th century, the black and white style soccer ball pictured here hasn't been widely used in professional or international soccer since 2006. I'd respect this drawing a lot more if the artist had bothered to do their research. Kids. This inspirational quote has 29 words and not a single comma. Breathe, man, breathe. Is this magnet denoting something that is happening on 2 concurrent Fridays? If not, it really should be all the way in one Friday or the other, not straddling this boundary as it currently is. Damn it, people, the lines are there for a reason.
Come on, man, don't be a sleep cop.
Script does not continue with, sorry, I had a warrant out for your arrest. And that's a sin.
Okay, tape.
Gaffer tape. You can see from this shot that Keely's nipples are already covered in this picture. Is Ted such a prude that the entire mammary area has to be concealed? I love Ted's heart, but this is Keely's call, not his.
What you doing back here? Where's Jamie?
Oh, he left his phone in his locker.
Oh, why don't he go get it?
He's still getting waxed. Surprisingly furry.
Surprisingly furry would also describe my internet browsing history. All right, that's it. Someone give me whoever wrote this on the line.
Hello?
Look here, buddy. How'd you get a hold of my internet history?
Seems like such a nice man. I'm not sure I can do this.
My failed attempt at sending Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood somehow makes it into the episode. I have it on good authority that gifting a mushroom-flavored pot noodle is an ancient classical British tradition which can be roughly interpreted as F*** you and the Yankee horse you rode in on. This Ted Lasso's on for some time.
There'd be a full moon there one night and it should be bright out and could anyone go up in the mountains?
Ray, he's kicked the ball. Now the ball's over there. That man has it now. That's an interesting development. Maybe he'll kick the ball. He has indeed, and apparently that deserves a round of applause.
It's a Hockney, it must be worth £1 million.
$100 billion.
Hey, if we see each other in our dreams, let's goof around a little bit, pretend like we don't know each other.
Why don't you see what you can get up to in 5 minutes?
Not a wink. No, my brain just kept on cooking.
That's a joke, boy. You missed it. Went right past you. You gotta keep on your toes. What toes that is? The fast ones get right by you. Keep your ears open. Yappity, yappity, yap. I can't get a word in edgeways.
Get off my lawn.
I turn and look, there's a little kitty cat in our kitchen. So I said, what are you doing in here, little kitty cat? By that time, the cat.
Go f yourself, San Diego.
Lynx. My favorite of the jungle cats.
It's made with bits of real panther, so you know it's good.